hitting. It's riveting. It's the much talked about cover story during Nationwide at 5. Here Cliff Hughes get to the heart of the story of the day. Cover story aired 5:30 weekdays during Nationwide at 5. Nationwide at 5. Talk radio at its best. Cover story.
Cover Story is brought to you by JTA Credit Union, serving our members, impacting lives positively.
Multilink, roll with control. Use Multilink, safe, fast, and accepted in more locations.
Ready to tackle that building project? Start right. Start here at H&L Rapid True Value for building supplies. The time by H&L Rapid True Value is
Nationwide time, 5 o'clock.
Interex Distributors presents the ultimate tile clearance sale. Transform your space for less. Dunrobin Plaza, 30 Dunrobin Avenue. The temperature by Interex Distributors is
30 degrees Celsius in Kingston and Montego Bay.
From the Nationwide News Network, comprehensive, incisive, tough. This is Nationwide at 5.
Good afternoon, I'm Robianne Williams.
And I'm Mahiri Stewart.
In Nationwide News at this hour, local government minister Desmond McKenzie says shelterees in Westmoreland being discouraged from vacating the school.
Government to appeal the Supreme Court ruling on Bengal developments.
Government still considering 16% fare increase for PPV operators.
Fights force the suspension of classes at St. Elizabeth Technical High School.
Alleged Rockfort gangster killed by the police.
In news from the rest of the world, Cuba blasts dangerous U.S. threats of military action against the island.
And Iran creates new agency to control shipping in Strait of Hormuz.
In sports, key members of failed World Cup campaign unavailable for Unity Cup.
And later in our broadcast, in our cover story at 5:35, a former press secretary at the Governor General's office, Sonia Sims, has brought a claim against the government, alleging she was unlawfully removed from her post. She's also demanding more than $31 million in unpaid wages. Sims' attorney Hugh Wildman will join us.
Also in the cover story, local government minister Desmond McKenzie says the government is on schedule to remove shelter occupants by its May 8 deadline, even as attempts are being made to deter them from leaving. Minister McKenzie will join us.
In the nation's business at 6:25, the JFF has appointed Rudolph Speed as head coach of the Reggae Boys for the 2026 Unity Cup, set to take place later this month in England. We'll get reactions from sports journalist and commentator Leger Williams and founder of Phoenix Academy, Craig Butler.
Taking you around the world at 6:45, millions of people across the UK went to the polls on Thursday in a local election. It's shaped up to be the most significant electoral test for Prime Minister Keir Starmer's embattled government since their victory in 2024. You'll get an update.
And at 7, it's the comments section with Shalois Michael and Mahiri Stewart. This evening, they're asking, should Jamaica embrace the importation of skilled labor? Give us your comments by logging on to our Facebook page, Nationwide News Network, and by tweeting us at Nationwide Radio. Feel free to message us on WhatsApp at 876-285-5693, and you can also leave your comments on Instagram at Nationwide 90 FM. All these and more as we take you home on air, Nationwide 90 FM, this Thursday afternoon. It's Thursday, May 7, 2026.
If it's news, it's got to be Nationwide 90 FM.
Now the details. Local government minister Desmond McKenzie says attempts are being made to deter some shelter occupants being housed at Petersfield High School in Westmoreland from leaving. Still, he says the government is on track to remove them by tomorrow, May 8. Mahiri Stewart has that story.
The president of the Jamaica Teachers Association, Mark Malava, has repeatedly called for the government to evacuate those who were affected by Hurricane Melissa and are still staying in school shelters. Up to March, 8 schools continued to house 81 persons. More than half of individuals were occupying spaces at Petersfield High School in Westmoreland. Local Government Minister Desmond McKenzie told Nationwide News on Thursday that only 3 families remain at the school. He says efforts are being made to discourage them from leaving the institution.
I am pleased to announce that the exercise is almost completed. We are having a slight situation in Westmoreland where people are being encouraged. Of the 16 families that were at Petersfield High School, all of them have left except these 3 families who are being pushed by certain individuals.
Minister McKenzie also addressed images of the new makeshift shelters that were making the rounds on social media.
I noticed there are certain posts that has been out here on social media, and a couple of the television stations carried some pictures. Let me just say this, that we have found a temporary location where we have done some work, and the pictures that are being shown out there in the public are pictures that were taken before the actual work to clean up that facility, to house those people before those works were completed. And again, a lot of mischief has been made and is still continue to be made about the work that we are doing.
The minister maintains that the May 8 deadline will be met. He also provided an update on the permanent solutions being implemented for the persons still in need of shelter.
By the end of today, tomorrow, no one will be left at Petersfield High School, and there will be no shelteries in any shelters across the country. Right now, as I speak, work is taking place on the location to put down the houses that will be provided on a permanent basis for these persons. Okay? The houses have been moved to a holding position in Montego Bay to be transferred over to Westmoreland as soon as the structural work at Shrewsbury has been completed.
Mahiri Stewart for Nationwide News.
The government will be appealing the Supreme Court's ruling, which struck down the environment permit granted to Bengal Development Limited for mining activities in the Dry Harbour Mountains in St. Anne. Information Minister Senator Dr. Dana Morris-Dixon made the disclosure during Wednesday's post-cabinet media briefing.
In terms of the implications of it, we've not been able to go through, I know I personally have not gone through the full judgment, and that's not been brought to cabinet for us to look at what are the implications coming from it. But what I do understand from my discussions with the Attorney General is that the ruling will be appealed.
Dr. Dana Morris-Dixon, Information Minister. The ruling handed down last Thursday declared that the 2020 permit granted to Bengal Development Limited was unconstitutional, void, and of no effect. It halts plans to start or continue any mining or quarrying activities in the Dry Harbour Mountains, an area regarded as environmentally sensitive. The challenge was brought by residents after Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness, acting in his capacity as the Environment Minister, reversed a previous decision by the Natural Resources Conservation Authority, rejecting the application.
Transport Minister Darrell Vaz says the 16% fare increase for public passenger vehicle PPV operators is still under consideration.
Fuel now accounts for 65% of monthly operating expenses, alongside increasing tolls, insurance and maintenance costs, threatening the sector's sustainability. As I have said before, the issue of the 16% fare adjustment is under continued consideration, bearing in mind the effects on inflation, and of course, as they say, bad luck was every time we are at that point, we either have a hurricane or something to disrupt our economic forecasts and plans. But I give assurance that commitment was made and a commitment will be met.
The government approved a 35% fare increase in October 2023, but only a 19% hike was implemented. An additional 16% was scheduled for implementation in April 2024. However, due to high inflation, the fare adjustment was not made. The outstanding amount would bring the increase to 35%. Minister Vaz says other measures are being considered to address the rising costs facing the sector.
Long-term solutions include fleet modernization through updated vehicle age policy, incentive for electric and hybrid vehicles, technical and financial training, and improved parking infrastructure. These interventions aim to balance the needs of operators and commuters, ensuring the continued viability of a sector critical to Jamaica's mobility, commerce, and economic resilience.
Darrell Vaz, Minister of Transport, he was speaking during his contribution to the sectoral debate on Tuesday.
Parliament is moving to expand the definition of milk product to apply to items not derived from cows. Agricultural Minister Floyd Green tabled the legislation in the House of Representatives earlier this week.
The Honourable House, I am sure, appreciates that the dairy industry is still very important to the people of Jamaica. The amendment is fairly basic, Madam Speaker. The term milk is defined by Section 2 of the Act as milk from cows. International trends have shown that milk is no longer confined to milk from cows or cattle. For example, in the United States of America and Canada, there have been increased contribution to their dairy products by way of milk from goat and sheep, small ruminants.
Currently under Jamaican law, the Jamaica Dairy Development Board regulates dairy products narrowly as goods derived from cow's milk, excluding all other potential sources such as sheep and goats. This similarly means that taxes and duties applied to dairy products do not automatically cover sources outside of those obtained from cows. Minister Green says the expanded definition will allow the government to better support the industry.
Given the current definition of milk, a cess can only be imposed on milk products originated from cows. This creates a gap in the market, as a cess cannot be automatically applied to other milk sources or their byproducts. Consequently, given the board's continued investment and regulatory remit, it has become necessary to expand the definition of milk to bring small ruminants under the umbrella of the Act with a view to regularizing the sector and fully capture this emerging market.
Floyd Green, Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries. The legislation passed in the lower house on Tuesday.
Classes at St. Elizabeth Technical High School were suspended on Thursday following a series of physical altercations among students the day before. The incidents prompted police intervention. Deputy Superintendent in charge of operations in St. Elizabeth, Owen Brown, is urging parents and guardians to play a greater role in teaching conflict resolution.
The home is one of the most important means of socialization. This is where the child learns how to behave in the wider community. But as such, we are encouraging our parents to be more vigilant, to ensure that the basic socialization is taught to our children. How do you deal with conflicts, understanding that persons might not necessarily agree with everything you say. A disagreement doesn't necessarily mean that there should be a fight.
Owen Brown, DSP in charge of operations at St. Elizabeth Division. Reports are that on Wednesday morning, two schoolboys had a dispute, which resulted in one of them being injured. Subsequently, several other fights broke out at the school, including in front of the institution's leadership. In a message to parents and guardians, the school's principal, Keith Wellington, said only students sitting external examinations would be permitted on the campus. DSP Brown says none of the students involved in the altercation have been taken into custody.
A man believed to be a high-ranking member of the Gaza and Harbour gangs operating in Rockfort in East Kingston has been fatally shot by the police. He has been identified as 41-year-old Patrick Thompson, otherwise called Tiger. Reports are that on Wednesday at about 5:40 a.m., the police conducted an intelligence-led operation in search of firearms in the Rockfort area. Upon entering a location, the police reportedly encountered a man armed with a firearm. The police say the man pointed the firearm at them. In a bid to avoid being shot by the armed man, the police reportedly opened gunfire, hitting the man, who fell to the ground. The man was taken to the Kingston Public Hospital, where he was pronounced dead on arrival. His firearm was retrieved and was found to be a shotgun loaded with 4 cartridges. Meanwhile, police sources say Thompson was previously convicted for shooting and malicious destruction of government property after opening fire on a police patrol vehicle in Rockfort in 2010. He was released from prison in August 2025. It's understood that since his release, Thompson has been implicated in a stolen motor vehicle ring. It was also reported that he was seen on several occasions armed with firearms along St. Patrick Road among a group of young males from the community.
A high-ranking member of the 666 gang in Denham Town in West Kingston was shot and killed by police early Tuesday morning. He's identified as Mark Allen of Wellington Street. It's reported that at about 5:35 a.m., members of the Kingston Western Special Operations were in Denham Town searching for wanted men, prohibited weapons, and unauthorized ammunition. During the operation, the team went to one of the targeted locations and announced their presence. The lawmen report that no one responded, so the team breached the door. On their entrance, they reportedly encountered Allen armed with a handgun. They say gunfire was exchanged, during which Allen was hit. He was pronounced dead at hospital. Head of the Area 4 Police ACP Michael Phipps says Allen was being sought for his involvement in criminal activities across the island.
The now deceased Allen was actually from the parish of St. Elizabeth and was actually brought into the Denham Town area where he became a criminal enforcer for the 666 criminal gang. He has since featured in a number of gang-related activities and was being sought by the Denham Town Criminal Investigations Branch for a number of violent crimes and several assaults against women. We are currently collaborating with the St. Elizabeth Police in respect to investigations into the criminal matters with which he may be linked.
That's ACP Michael Phipps, head of the Area 4 Police.
You're listening to Nationwide News at 5. More news after these.
You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
5:16. Continuing the news, the National Works Agency NWA says it's in the final stages of preparing a $39 million program dedicated to drain cleaning and bushing in St. Elizabeth, Manchester, and Clarendon. It's part of the government's island-wide pre-hurricane mitigation program. The Atlantic hurricane season begins June 1 and runs until November 30. Works Minister Robert Morgan says the NWA will undertake special mitigation interventions at the national level.
We all have observed increased levels of rainfall over the last several months, and this has placed challenges on our gullies and our roads over time. The Hurricane Mitigation Program is part of a wider resilience efforts that will include road repairs, bridge works, and gully interventions across the island. Drain cleaning may not always attract headlines, but is one of the most important things we can do to reduce flooding and protect property and limiting the challenges we face during heavy rainfall.
Robert Morgan, Works Minister. The works are expected to be completed by the end of May. NWA's Communication and Customer Services Manager Stephen Shaw says the agency is actively engaging members of Parliament across the parishes to finalize the preparations. He notes that the contact with the MPs is critical in ensuring the representatives are involved in identifying some of the locations.
Advertising agents are calling for amendments to the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation's 1978 signage regulations. They say the decades-old rules are outdated and do not reflect modern advertising technology. Chairman of the iPrint Group of Companies, Stephen Steele, says the regulations need an urgent upgrade.
Laws are, to me, a living, breathing document that should reflect the collective consciousness at the time. So therefore, in 1978, we're now in 2026. A lot of years has passed. So a lot of these regulations really need to be upgraded to reflect the collective consciousness of today's reality in terms of road infrastructure, population growth, growth in cities, just growth on a whole. So it is good that we have this, that we can sit down there, we can voice our opinions and speak on certain issues and matters and start the process of upgrading some of these amendments.
Stephen Steele, chairman of the iPrint Group of Companies. He was among a group of advertising agents who met with Mayor of Kingston, Andrew Swaby, on Monday to discuss ongoing signage compliance issues. In addition to the talks about reviewing the signage regulations, the meeting also focused on the process to access permits and public safety concerns. The 1978 regulation mandates that any sign placed in public view must first be approved by the Kingston and St. Andrew Corporation, KSAMC. Entities are also required to pay a fee annually for these signs. President of the Outdoor Signage Association of Jamaica, Raul Duani, says the association is collaborating with the KSAMC to regularize signs across the corporate area.
As we've seen over the recent years, there is a massive influx of signage being put up on roadways, and we're trying to have some form of regularization around them. At the same time, the KSAMC is on a drive to remove some of this signage, as well as work with the Outdoor Signage Association of Jamaica to bring some form of regularization to it. So this is one in a continuance of meetings to come to some consensus, as well as maybe some possible changes to amendments to the law, if seen fit and approved, in order to make it a much nicer habitat for all players in the outdoor signage industry.
Raul Duani, president of the Outdoor Signage Association of Jamaica.
World in a Minute is brought to you by ABC Electrical Sales. We make things as easy as ABC. Hose assembly and supply, equipping Jamaica for success.
And Charles O'Connor Consulting Network, COCN, driven by international accounting standards, modern technology and integrity.
The World in a Minute.
In Trinidad and Tobago, 5 students were suspended after a senior political figure says he was assaulted while intervening in a fight involving school children. The incident was captured in a 36-second video and widely circulated on social media. The man in the video is identified as chairman of the PNM's Port of Spain South Constituency Executive, Alderman Wayne Griffith. It shows the students attacking Griffith, who attempted to break up a fight. According to Griffith, he was traveling on the road when he saw over a dozen children beating a young boy. He claimed that after exiting his vehicle and attempting to intervene, he was struck by a female student. Other students subsequently joined in the assault. Following the assault, Griffith said he later realized that his cell phone and watch were missing.
Iran has created a government agency to vet and tax vessels seeking passage through the crucial Strait of Hormuz. It comes as Tehran continues to review the latest U.S. proposals for ending the war with U.S. and Israel. The Iranian effort to formalize control over the channel raises new concerns about international shipping, with hundreds of commercial ships bottled up in the Persian Gulf and unable to reach the open sea. Iran's foreign ministry says the Islamic Republic was reviewing messages from Pakistan, which is mediating peace negotiations.
World in a Minute was brought to you by ABC Electrical Sales. We make things as easy as ABC. Hose assembly and supply, equipping Jamaica for success.
And Charles O'Connor Consulting Network, COCN, driven by international accounting standards, modern technology and integrity.
Recapping the top stories making nationwide news at this hour, local government minister Desmond McKenzie says the shelterees in Westmoreland being discouraged from vacating Petersfield High.
Government to appeal the Supreme Court ruling on Bengal developments.
5 students in Trinidad and Tobago suspended over assault on politician.
Iran creates new agency to control shipping in Strait of Hormuz.
I'm Robeanne Williams.
And I'm Mahiri Stewart.
Join the Nationwide Family Club at patreon.com/Nationwide News Network. News next, the headlines at 6.
Attention bargain hunters and DIY lovers. Get ready for the Sherwin-Williams yard sale happening May 8 and 9, starting at 9 a.m. sharp. Location, Sherwin-Williams head office, White Marl, St. Catherine. We're clearing out the warehouse at unbelievable discounts. Perfect for your next home improvement project, refresh, or creative makeover. From quality paints to great finds, this is your chance to save big on trusted Sherwin-Williams products. Doors open at 9 a.m., so come early, May 8 and 9. Sherwin-Williams yard sale. Great products, great prices, don't miss it.
Already have a T-tag for your vehicle? Just top it up and go through. You can now conveniently add funds to your T-tag on WhatsApp. Just save our T-tag WhatsApp number 876-355-3336 and send us a message when you want to top up. Top up your T-Tag and continue to go through quicker and cheaper on Transjam highways.
Tune in to Nationwide 90 FM with Pepita and Honeybee from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. on the E-Zone as we broadcast live from Mega Mart Waterloo, Friday, May 8th. Pepita and Honeybee plus Mega Mart are doing it big for Mother's Day.
Thank you, Mama, for the 9 months you carried me through.
Join us at Mega Mart Waterloo for all the Mother's Day specials, excitement, entertainment, and more. Pepita and Honeybee are doing it mega with Mega Mart. Don't miss the pre-Mother's Day outside broadcast.
Mama, you gave life to me.
Come be a part of the mega broadcast with Pepita and Honeybee Friday, May 8th at Mega Mart Waterloo from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m.
There is no other love like a mother.
This broadcast is brought to you by Mega Mart, the best value by far.
And I know love so complete.
Sports at 5 is brought to you by Total Tools. Total Tools, every tool, every trade.
Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to Sports here on Nationwide 90 FM. I'm Wayne Walker. Football is where we start. Three key members of Jamaica's failed World Cup qualifying campaign have already indicated that they will not be available to play for Jamaica at the Unity Cup tournament in England at the end of the month. Aston Villa winger Leon Bailey, Ethan Pinnock from Brentford City, and Leicester City's Bobby Decordova-Reid, of course, have already told the local authorities not to include them in the 24-man squad that's expected to assemble in Great Britain on March, that's May 26. Now, the 24-man squad, which will feature a great deal of young players, will assemble in England, as I mentioned, May 24. The local contingent will depart the island on May 23, which is one day before the Ray and Nephew Jamaica Premier League final. Now, 6 members of the Jamaica Premier League contingent are due to be in the 24-man squad, and they have been exempted from traveling on the 23rd to allow them to play in the Premier League final on May 24, providing their team get to the final, and then they'll depart the island on May 25, 2 days ahead of Jamaica's debut at the Unity Cup, where they play against India. The full Jamaica squad is expected to be released come next week. Jamaica's under-20 men's football team has been drawn in a very, very tough Group C for the CONCACAF Championships in Mexico, July 24 to August 9. Now, the Young Reggae Boys will face the likes of Honduras, Panama, and Canada. The tournament will feature the 3 groups of 4, with the top 2 in each group and the 2 best third-place teams advancing to the quarterfinals. Now, the quarterfinal winners will each book automatic qualifying spot to FIFA World Cup to be jointly hosted by Azerbaijan and Uzbekistan in 2027. The winners of the tournament will also earn a place at the 2028 Olympic Games in Los Angeles, California. However, should the United States end the tournament as winners, then the place for the Olympic Games will go to the beaten finalists, because the U.S. would have already qualified automatically as host of the Olympic game. Chairman of Harborview Football Club, Carvel Stewart, says the organization has already started to put things in place for a swift return to the nation's top flight. The Harborview team were relegated from the Ray and Nephew Premier League on Wednesday after they were beaten 2-1 by the champions Cavalier on the final day of regular season action. Now, the Stars of the East endured a dreadful season where they won just 9 games of the 39. They suffered 18 defeats along the way. So the question is, how did a team that won the title 4 years ago and finished 4th in the Caribbean Championships 3 years ago find themselves in the nation's second tier?
Our major problem has been the absence of a midfield that plays the kind of passing game that we're traditionally known for. And because of that, we ended up too often with the defenders providing the final pass. So when that happens, you give over the ball to the opponents, and therefore we were punished for that. We also led, as we did today, in a number of games and gave up the lead because we were not maintaining possession of the ball, which we should have done.
And of course, Arborview, they played 31 seasons in the Jamaica top flight. And of course, I did tell you that Carvel says they're looking to put things in place for a very, very, very swift return.
We are going to organize the group of players that we do have here and the youngsters coming through to ensure that they will graduate into our senior system and assist us going forward and getting back to where we should be.
That's Carvel Stewart, he's chairman of the Harborview Football Club. And he was speaking exclusively with Nationwide Sports on Thursday. In the meantime, the two-legged Ray and Nephew Jamaica Premier League quarterfinals will kick off on Sunday. Racing will take on Portmore United in a St. Catherine derby. That game kicks off at 5 o'clock. And Waterhouse will take on the champions Cavalier at 7:30. Both games on Sunday at the National Stadium. The return legs will be played next Wednesday at the same venue with the reverse fixture. The teams that play first this week will play second the following week. And the winners of the Racing Portmore United game will take on Mount Pleasant in the semi-finals. And the Waterhouse Cavalier winners will take on Montego Bay United in the semi-finals. All the games will be played at the stadium, the quarters, the semis, and the final. And we close off with news on netball. 2 Jamaicans have been selected to officiate in netball competition at the 2026 Commonwealth Games in Glasgow, Scotland this summer. Chris Campbell and Tracy and Griffith were selected on the umpire. Well, Chris Campbell and Tracy and Griffith were selected on the umpire appointments panel. Griffiths will do match official duties at the July 23 to August 2 event. Now, the pair headline a contingent of 20 international technical officials and 22 national technical officials selected to serve during the games, reinforcing Jamaica's growing reputation and influence in global netball officiating. Campbell says the appointment is a result of hard work down the years.
I'll be a part of the UAP's umpires assessment panel. We're doing the assessment and we're doing the allocation and the coaching of the umpire, while Tracy will be blowing the whistle. She'll be running. It's a moment for us. It's a good achievement. We're the only 2 from the Caribbean in netball that is going to be on this as part of this contingent going to Scotland in July. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it's a big thing. It's an achievement. It's my 3rd Commonwealth. I went there twice before as an umpire, and in this case, I'm going back as the assessor.
Brilliant from Chris and Tracy. And that will do it for sport at the minute. We're going to be back, though, at 6:05 with our main sportscast. Aldrich Swaby will have that for you.
Sports at 5 was brought to you by Total Tools. Total Tools, every tool, every trade.
For all your custom framing, printing, graphic design, and purchase of art, Make It Frame Art Jamaica Limited, serving you for over 40 years. The time by Frame Art Jamaica is
5:32.
Digicel makes it easy. Surprise mom with a new Samsung device starting as low as $12,000 plus tax. Visit your nearest Digicel store today. Digicel, powered by you, connected by us.
TransGem Highways is having a 50% Mother's Day discount on T-Tag packages. Get yours from the teller at the toll booth for only $1,250, including a $500 toll credit from May 4 to May 30, 2026. When you get your T-Tag, top up to keep using it. Choose whichever method of topping up is most convenient for you. Go through quicker with a T-Tag every time on TransGem Highways.
Every professional reaches a moment when growth calls. A promotion, a new opportunity, a bigger vision. At Mona School of Business and Management, our globally competitive graduate programs, including the internationally accredited MBA, are designed for ambitious professionals who are ready to lead. With flexible delivery options that fit your lifestyle, advancing your career is within reach. Learn from world-class faculty. Connect with influential leaders. Transform your future. Visit discover.msbm-uwi.org and apply online for a graduate degree. MSBM, Global Knowledge, Regional Solutions.
Tune in to Nationwide 90 FM with Pepita and Honeybee from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. on the E-Zone as we broadcast live from Mega Mart Waterloo, Friday, May 8th.
Love you, there's nothing I'd put above you. No house, nor no girl, nor no
Pepita and Honeybee plus Mega Mart are doing it big for Mother's Day.
Thank you, Mama, for the 9 months you carried me through.
Join us at Mega Mart Waterloo for all the Mother's Day specials, excitement, entertainment, and more. Pepita and Honeybee are doing it mega with Mega Mart. Don't miss the pre-Mother's Day outside broadcast.
Mama, you gave life to me.
Come be a part of the mega broadcast with Pepita and Honeybee Friday, May 8 at Mega Mart Waterloo from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m.
There is no other love like a mother.
This broadcast is brought to you by Mega Mart, the best value by far.
And I know a love so complete.
Every day, Jamaicans have something to say. In the group chats, on social media, in the streets, there's a place where it all comes together. The comment section. This is not a lecture. This is not a call-in show. This is the hottest topics of the day, filtered through real opinions, real WhatsApp messages, real voice notes, real reactions. You agree, disagree, sound off, text it, voice note it, debate it. Comments section, Monday to Friday from 7 to 7:30 p.m. only on Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media.
As a parent, you give your children a good start in life. You nurture, protect, and guide them. Parenting is a process that prepares your child for independence. As your child grows and develops, there are many things you can do to help your child. Stay tuned to The Big Show, Nationwide This Morning, for parenting tips. Fridays at 6:53 a.m. Only here will you learn everything you need to know about parenting. Tips to help parents navigate the incredibly challenging and rewarding journey of child rearing. Parenting tips on Nationwide 90 FM, the revolution in media.
Cover Story is brought to you by
Multilink. Roll with control. Use Multilink. Safe, fast, and accepted in more locations.
Multi-link, access every time, everywhere I go. Multi-link, 24/7 access for me. It's just a win-win when we use Multi-link. This card is Jamaican built, yeah. Fast and secure, you can use anywhere, spend while supporting the economy.
Look for the Multilink logo on your card and benefit from Jamaica's largest debit payment network.
Multi-link, 24/7 access for me.
What would I do without my Multilink?
Good afternoon. Thank you so very much for sticking and staying with us right here inside Must Listen Radio. This is Nationwide at 5. I'm Tyrone Reed. If you are listening on the 90 FM band, top of the afternoon to you, and of course, if you're watching over there on our YouTube channel, welcome to you as well. And before we dive into what we have planned for you, just a reminder to join the Nationwide Family Club and enjoy a 20% discount, when you sign up for a full year. Get exclusive content, behind the scenes access, and members only perks. And that starts May 11. The Family Club members will get exclusive access to our production meetings. So that exclusive access to the production meetings will be kickstarted on May 11. So go on over there, patreon.com/Nationwide News Network, and be a part of the family. Now, inside the cover story, listeners, viewers, a former press secretary of the Governor General, press secretary to the Governor General, Sonia Sims, has brought a constitutional claim against the government. She's alleging she was unlawfully removed from her post at King's House. Ms. Sims is also demanding more than $31 million in unpaid wages dating back to January 2022. Her attorney, Hugh Wildman, says weeks after the case management adjournment, the government's lawyers are yet to provide a formal rebuttal. When Nationwide News reached out to Attorney General Dr. Derek McCoy today, he said he wished not to engage in discussions on the matter until litigation is complete. We're now being joined by the attorney representing Miss Sims, Mr. Hugh Wildman. Mr. Wildman, top of the afternoon to you. Welcome to Nationwide.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much.
Indeed. I read with interest this story today, Mr. Hugh Wildman. For those who are not familiar with the background, please, could you walk us through what has brought us to this point?
Very well. You know, Ms. Sims was employed to the office of the Governor General as a public officer, and that must be stressed because there's a notion, it seems to me, at the GG's office and elsewhere in the public service that public officers can be dismissed at pleasure, as if it is a private contract. So she being an employee assigned there in the public service, for some reason, they are not interested in continuing with her service. So they have taken the step to terminate her service de facto, as opposed to de jure. So they sent her home, and that's the end of it. They believe that by doing so, she's left without a remedy. And so for so many years, she would have been deprived of her salaries and other benefits. And so she came to us, and having come to us, we decided that the way to go forward with this matter is to file a constitutional motion, similar to what I did in relation to those two ladies who were working there who were sent home during COVID, similar situation. And so it came
at
to
the
court.
Governor General's office?
Yes, that's correct. They were sent home during COVID period.
And what was the result of that in the courts?
We won that case and they settled it.
And what was the payout?
They had to pay their full salaries and about the benefits.
So we're talking about millions of dollars.
Yes.
And so after that incident, this incident took place.
That's correct.
So what led to her being separated from the Governor General's office? What happened?
I can't speak for the office of the GG judge. They just tell her to go home.
On the basis of what?
In the pleadings, you will see where they said that she had traveled without permission, but no disciplinary action was brought against our client because she was on vacation, so she traveled. So they have not told her the reason for her separation. We are just speculating. Nobody knows.
So not even in court, a defense has been put forward as to why they took this course of action?
No, they have not sought to rebut the pleading or to provide an explanation.
I read it. Sorry, go ahead, Mr. Wellman.
They came to court and said that they are willing to settle the claim.
Right, which is what I wanted to ask you, because that's what I read in the Gleaner report today, that they are prepared to settle.
Yes.
But nothing has been heard from the Attorney General.
That is so. They on two occasions they indicated that they want to settle the matter. The last occasion, I was in that policeman trial downtown, so I asked my junior to be present, and they came and they indicated that yes, they want to settle, and so we were waiting on them to send their proposal for settlement. Nothing forthcoming. So we decided to take the initiative and to send them what our package is in terms of total salary and emolument. And we wrote to them. We have it delivered in the way it is to be delivered. We reached out to them by several telephone calls, nobody responding. And it remains just like that.
So is there a motion that you can file in the court to compel them to follow through on their declaration to settle?
Well, I've been told the court that they want to settle the matter and cause the court to adjourn the proceedings to accommodate the settlement. That's a serious indictment on the office of the Attorney General. They came to the court, tell the court that we want to settle this matter. The court said, okay, we will not proceed any further. And they have done nothing since.
Did the Attorney General appear in his own person, or was he represented?
No, through Miss White. Miss White sent her representative, but she's the person in charge of litigation in the office of the AG. And I reached out to her several times, no response.
So to be clear, Mr. Wildman, you are still in the dark as to why your client was let go or the process that was engaged.
That is correct.
And this is not the first time you're saying that the Office of the Governor General has been brought before the courts for dismissing public sector workers?
That is public officers.
Public officers, pardon me.
That's correct.
Yes?
That's correct.
So is no. So
I started baffling myself.
Right, because I'm trying to wrap my mind around. There are rules, laws that govern how people who are employed in the public service can be dismissed. And based on your understanding of what transpired here from your client, the instructions you've received, you're saying none of those rules were engaged by
None of those. Let me take you back to Section 125 of the Constitution. That's a critical section. That's a section that tells you about the engagement and disengagement of public officers in Jamaica. And we have had a number of cases that I have dealt with successfully, if I may say so, where this type of behavior has taken place, where they have dismissed persons without complying with Section 125 of the Constitution and forced us to go to court to compel them to follow the law, where they have to reinstate the people based on the Constitution. I can tell you a number of cases which I have dealt with like that. And so there's a pattern of behavior where these people, they don't understand that the public sector was set up to protect those categories of workers under the Constitution. Where the founding fathers felt should be isolated and insulated from what sort of political pressure. And so you can't just dismiss them at pleasure.
We're almost out of time, but what's the next step for you? If you could just remind us, where do you go from here? The Attorney General, you said, indicated in court, they don't want to continue with the proceedings. They want to settle. And that's what, 2 months ago that was submitted in court?
That's correct.
And they have not done anything. They have not responded to you since then.
Nothing.
So where do you go from here in relation to your client?
Well, and that is about it, because they caused the court to adjourn the matter when we could have made progress in terms of the actual trial of the case.
So what do you do? Ask the court to resume the trial? What do you do?
Well, we have to go back to court if they don't come. And I don't think the court will be kind to them, because this type of behavior, twice it came before the court and they behaved like this. They said they want to settle. They have not come to us with a proposal. We sent them what the entire package which my client to be entitled to, and they have not denied it and not responded to it.
How soon will you be doing that?
Well, the court timetable is not set by us. The matter was set by the court as to when it comes back before the court. So if they do not do what they are supposed to do, then we have to comply with the timeline set by the court.
All right, Mr. Wyman, we have to leave it there. We're out of time. But thank you so very much for taking the time to join us. We appreciate it. All right, this is Nationwide at 5. We're inside the cover story. We bring part 1 of the cover story to a close. When we come back, we'll be joined by the Minister of Local Government talking about those who remain in shelters.
Visit Marshall's Pharmacy, Greater Portmore, for all your prescription needs, gifts, personal care, household, and stationery items. The temperature by Marshall's Pharmacy, Greater Portmore is
30 degrees Celsius in capital city Kingston, and also 30 degrees Celsius out west in the tourism mecca of Montego Bay.
Multi-link, access every time, everywhere I go. Multi-link, 24/7 access for me. It's just a win-win when we use multi-link. This card is Jamaican built, yeah. Fast and secure, you can use anywhere. Spend while supporting the economy.
Look for the multi-link logo on your card and benefit from Jamaica's largest debit payment network.
Multi-link, 24/7 access for me.
What would I do without my multi-link?
For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies, including plugs, switches, panel boards, and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer, and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
It's the Answers Amazing Sale. Get 50% off everything when you shop at Answers Gifts and Home and Answers for Children. It's the Answers Amazing Sale. Now until Saturday, May 9, 2026.
Come back. Thank you so very much for sticking and staying with us right here inside the Nationwide at 5. Now, we're turning our attention to matters concerning the local government ministry. Now, the portfolio minister of local government, Desmond McKenzie, says attempts are being made to deter some shelter occupants being housed at Petersfield High School in Westmoreland from leaving. But he says the government is on schedule to remove the shelterees by its May 8th deadline. Well, that would be tomorrow. The president of the Jamaica Teachers Association, Mark Malava, has repeatedly called for the government to evacuate those who were affected by Hurricane Melissa and are still staying in school shelters. Up to March, 8 schools continue to house 81 persons. More than half of the individuals occupying spaces, schools as shelters, are actually located at Petersfield High. Minister McKenzie told Nationwide News today that only 3 families remain at the school. He joins us now for further discussions on this matter. Top of the afternoon to you, Minister. Welcome to Nationwide 5.
Good afternoon, Tyrone, and good afternoon to your listeners and your viewers, and thanks for having me.
Minister, before we talk the deadline, who could be telling the individuals not to leave?
Tyrone, I'm not prepared to call the name publicly, but it is unfortunate because the same persons who are agitating are persons who we met with. We sat down at my ministry, had extensive discussions as to how they can assist, because they indicated that they want to assist. And from they left the meeting, we have not heard anything from them. All we're getting is this kind of a disruptive attitude. They are parked outside the gate at Petersfield, encouraging persons, that 3 family that is left, talking about the conditions and that we are moving them. We promised to give them house, and we are now spending millions of dollars to retrofit somewhere to put them permanent, which is a total, which is total mischief. And if they really care about the people that they do, as they profess to do, they would not continue to do what they're doing.
Well, why are you shielding them, Minister? Why not call their names?
I don't want to, and it is for reasons that I don't want to. But
all right, let me ask you this then: are these elected officials who are doing this?
Not elected officials. They are persons who, it is something that we can substantiate. And we know a fact that it is taking place, but I'm not prepared at this point in time to call it.
So the shelter, those who are occupying the shelters are telling you that they are being told not to leave because...
We know that, and we have seen the post, the social media post that has been made by these individuals. Showing, the starting, the facts are showing the location that they are going to be transferred to just for holding purposes, showing images of the building before the work have started, and posting it and saying this is where we're putting people, which is totally false and misleading.
All right.
So,
there are pictures that have been making the rounds. I did hear you say that in the newscast. Dana, did we get the photos? So Minister, so the photos that are making the rounds are not, the place is not in that state, is what you're saying.
No, because we did repairs to the place. The brigade came in. As a matter of fact, we used some of the same shelteries to help to clean out the place. It is three cottages, which is adequate to hold them for the time being. It has all the facilities that is there, and we did some minor repairs to the location. And those persons are happily moving, except those persons who are being persuaded. But the last information I got coming from the persons on the ground, that those persons have decided, okay, that they will definitely move out to the shelters. And the deadline that we gave, and I must commend those shelteries who actually moved out even before. And I need to make the point also that we did not just say to them move out. Those who indicated, well, okay, if I get some assistance to do ABC, we will be able to move. We have done that. Persons indicate, look, if you can pay the rent, we find somewhere. We have done that. The SDC, working with the parish disaster coordinator and the various people on the ground, has been working with the shelteries over the last 3.5 weeks to put this in place. And when we reach this point now, we are finding those persons who continue to create mischief. And we're going to be pushing back at it.
Are you prepared to release photos of what the area looks like to combat what you say is a false narrative that is being created by putting out photos of the area before it was renovated? Are you prepared to release photos?
Yes, we are going to get that, and we're going to put that out in the public domain before the end of
And absolutely, us at Nationwide would love to have our hands on that as well.
I'll definitely do that, Tyler.
All right.
We'll definitely do that.
So, here and now, May 8th is the deadline that was set. You're saying, come tomorrow, all the schools that were functioning as shelters will no longer have anyone there.
As a matter of fact, Peter's Field, Westmoreland was the only place that we had that number. All of that has been dealt with. There was one individual who from long ago we assessed him, and we figured that putting him by himself would not have been the option, because he's not in that position to help himself. He refused because they were even telling him not to. Now we have convinced him. We took him to the staff on the ground, took him to the hospital. He was examined by the hospital, and he's now at the infirmary where he will be taken care of on a permanent basis.
Surely, though, Minister, you must be able to give Jamaica at least a descriptor. Who are these they that offer to help, and now it seems as if they are encouraging people to stay? I'm not saying tell us the name. Who are these individuals? What capacity are they functioning in?
They have linkage in terms of family tradition. Tyrone, look, I'm not prepared right now to go much further on it, Tyrone. But if it persists, if we continue to get the kind of pushback that we have been getting, then I'm going to be forced to speak about it, Tyrone. But I have to put it out there, Tyrone, that it is something that we have been encountering from day one with these people. We brought them to the table, Tyrone. We have not ignored them, Tyrone. We brought them to the table, and we're still getting this kind of pushback, even at the last moment.
Is there politics at play here, Minister?
Tyrone, I don't want to say Tyrone. Tyrone. It's a matter, Tyrone, that right now, where our interest is right now is to complete the total relocation of these persons. They have been suffering for long. I had the opportunity of speaking to one of the mother this morning, and she gave me the assurance, Tyrone, that they are not a part, and they are not. Is not everybody there is a part of that, Tyrone. Right now, the next phase that we are looking at now, the houses The housings have been
A long-term solution. This
right,
is now.
A long-term solution. We're going to be building out about 30 odd units. We're working. There was a meeting this morning. I'm just coming in from the country. There was a meeting this morning to look at the way forward in terms of expanding that location that we are putting down those units. A number of the bases have been completed, and we are now completing the sewage system at that location, and in short order.
So these are homes that the individuals who were left shelterless by the pastor, they'll own these units?
No, these are units that will be given to them on this location.
For how long?
It's permanent.
So they'll eventually get a title for these units?
Yeah, they will eventually become occupants of the units on the land.
No, we know they'll be occupants, but would they be owners eventually is what I'm asking?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So the government has, you've said that multiple things have been done. Rent is being paid for some. Others said if I get this sort of help, I should be able to move back into my area. You've assisted there, and you've also provided this temporary shelter. But the long-term measure is to come on stream. When do you think the long-term measure will come on stream? When will they occupy those?
The work has started. We are prepared to put down the first set of houses. In another 2 weeks' time, literally about 7 or 8 houses will be able to put down, while the remaining base is under construction.
And so when are you looking to complete the entire thing?
I would say we are now in the month of May. I would say by the end of June, thereabout. Because, to put down the base, and to transport the houses from where they are to come down. It's an holistic approach, not just by the Ministry of Local Government, but by other government entities that is going to be tackling the issue. And it is not just for Westmoreland.
Yeah.
Okay?
We're out of time, Minister. But as always, thank you so much for coming on and sharing with us.
And thanks, Tyrone. And thanks for having me.
I appreciate it.
To provide those, what you have requested.
All right, man. Thank you. We look out for it. All right. Thank you. All right. This has been the cover story. The voice you just heard there is the Minister of Local Government, Desmond McKenzie. The news is next.
Cover story was brought to you by
Multilink. Roll with control. Use Multilink. Safe, fast, and accepted in more locations.
The time brought to you by Guardian Life. Live secure, live easy is
6:01.
Nationwide headlines at 6.
Good evening with the headlines at 6. I'm Shalois Michael. Local Government Minister Desmond McKenzie says attempts are being made to deter some shelter occupants being housed at Petersfield High School in Westmoreland from leaving. Still, he says the government is on track to remove them by tomorrow, May 8.
I am pleased to announce that the exercise is almost completed. We are having a slight situation in Westmoreland where people are being encouraged. Of the 16 families that were at Petersfield High School, all of them have left except these 3 families who are being pushed by certain individuals.
Minister McKenzie also addressed images of the new makeshift shelters that were making the rounds on social media.
I noticed there are certain posts that has been out there on social media, and a couple of the television stations carried some pictures. Let me just say this, that we have found a temporary location where we have done some work, and the pictures that are being shown out there in the public are pictures that were taken before the actual work took clean up that facility to house those people before those works were completed. And again, a lot of mischief has been made and still continue to be made about the work that we are doing.
Desmond McKenzie, Minister of Local Government. The government will be appealing the Supreme Court's ruling, which struck down the environmental permit granted to Bengal Development Limited for mining activities in the Dry Harbour Mountains in St. Anne. Information Minister Senator Dr. Dana Morris-Dixon made the disclosure during Wednesday's post-cabinet media briefing.
In terms of the implications of it, we've not been able to go through, I know I personally have not gone through the full judgment, and that's not been brought to cabinet for us to look at what are the implications coming from it. But what I do understand from my discussions with the Attorney General is that the ruling will be appealed.
Dr. Dana Morris-Dixon, Information Minister. The ruling handed down last Thursday declared that the 2020 permit granted to Bengal Development Limited was unconstitutional, void, and of no effect. It halts plans to start or continue any mining or quarrying activities in the Dry Harbour Mountains, an area regarded as environmentally sensitive. The challenge was brought by residents after Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness, acting in his capacity as then Environment Minister, reversed a previous decision by the Natural Resources Conservation Authority, rejecting the application. Transport Minister Darrell Vaz says the 16% fare increase for public passenger vehicle PPV operators is still under consideration.
Fuel now accounts for 65% of monthly operating expenses, alongside increasing tolls, insurance and maintenance costs, threatening the sector's sustainability. As I have said before, the issue of the 16% fare adjustment is under continued consideration, bearing in mind the effects on inflation, and of course, as they say, bad luck was every time we are at that point, we either have a hurricane or something to disrupt our economic forecasts and plans. But I give assurance that commitment was made and a commitment will be met.
The government approved a 35% fare increase in October 2023, but only a 19% hike was implemented. An additional 16% was scheduled for implementation in April 2024. However, due to high inflation, the fare adjustment was not made. Minister Vaz says other measures are being considered to address the rising costs facing the sector.
Long-term solutions include fleet modernization through an updated vehicle age policy, incentive for electric and hybrid vehicles, technical and financial training, and improved parking infrastructure. These interventions aim to balance the needs of operators and commuters, ensuring the continued viability of a sector critical to Jamaica's mobility, commerce, and economic resilience.
Darrell Vaz, the Transport Minister. Classes at St. Elizabeth Technical High School were suspended on Thursday following a series of physical altercations among students the day before. The incidents prompted police intervention. Deputy Superintendent in charge of operations in St. Elizabeth, Owen Brown, is urging parents and guardians to play a greater role in teaching conflict resolution.
The home is one of the most important means of socialization. This is where the child learns how to behave in the wider community. But as such, we are encouraging our parents to be more vigilant, to ensure that the basic socialization is taught to our children. How do you deal with conflicts, understanding that persons might not necessarily agree with everything you say. A disagreement doesn't necessarily mean that there should be a fight.
Owen Brown, DSP in charge of operations at the St. Elizabeth Division. Reports are that on Wednesday morning, 2 schoolboys had a dispute which resulted in one of them being injured. Subsequently, several other fights broke out at the school, including in front of the institution's leadership. Parliament is moving to expand the definition of milk product to apply to items not derived from cows. Agricultural Minister Floyd Green tabled the legislation in the House of Representatives earlier this week.
The Honourable House, I am sure, appreciates that the dairy industry is still very important to the people of Jamaica. The amendment is fairly basic, Madam Speaker. The term milk is defined by Section 2 of the Act as milk from cows. International trends have shown that milk is no longer confined to milk from cows or cattle. For example, in the United States of America and Canada, there have been increased contribution to their dairy products by way of milk from goat and sheep, small ruminants.
Floyd Green, Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries. Currently under Jamaican law, the Jamaica Dairy Development Board regulates dairy products narrowly as goods derived from cow's milk, excluding all other potential sources such as sheep and goats. Those were the headlines at 6. I'm Shaloy Smichael. Sports is next.
Power in great moments. If you have financial needs, Chris and Charles will fix them for you. Power in great moments since 1992. Oh, we have it all. Power in great moments. Relax, you got Chris and Charles. Oh, we have it all. When you think loans, think Chris and Charles. We can light up your world with the rays of the sun, putting pure energy in the palm of your hand.
For over 20 years, Fosrich has been putting a world of energy in your hands. Now we bring you big savings with our line of solar energy products and LED lighting. Financing now available for all your home and commercial retrofit projects. Consult with our in-house staff or certified professional engineers for all your electrical needs. Fosrich Lifestyle. It's electric. Fosrich, your energy world.
It's $1 million summer with Mitsubishi. And if I beach, we are go, we have to reach it. Eclipse, cross it to safe and easy. Outlander, link up Pochi weekend. It's $1 million summer with Mitsubishi. A year sport with space and seating comfortable. It's a Mitsubishi. Hey, it's a Mitsubishi. It's $1 million off. Them 3 ride. Features nice with the leather inside. Cool AC, everybody feel right. It's $1 million summer. $1 million summer.
This promotion is authorized under Section 53 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act.
If you've ever called in, shared your story, or got help on this show, then you're already family. Now make it official. Join the nationwide 90FM Family Club today on Patreon.
Good evening with your sports report. I'm Alwick Swaby. We kick things off with some footballers. 3 members of Jamaica's failed World Cup qualifying campaign have already indicated that they will not be available for the Unity Cup tournament in the UK at the end of the month. Aston Villa winger Leon Bailey, Bobby D. Cordova-Reid of Leicester City and Ethan Pinnock of Brentford City have all told the JFF they'll pass on this tournament scheduled for Charlton's Valley Stadium. The 24-man squad, which will feature a great deal of young players, will assemble in England on May 24. The local contingent will depart the island on May 23, which is 1 day before the Ray and Never Jamaica Premier League final. 6 players from the Premier League are expected to be in the squad, and those will be allowed to play in the final and then travel to England on May 25, 2 days before Jamaica takes on India in their first game. The full Jamaica squad is expected to be released on early next week. Now, Jamaica's under-20 men's football team has been drawn in a tough Group C for the CONCACAF Championships in Mexico from July 24 to August 9. The young Reggae Boys will face the likes of Honduras, Panama and Canada. The tournament will feature 3 groups of 4 with the top 2 in each group and the 2 best third-place teams advancing to the quarterfinals. The quarterfinal winners will each book automatic spots to the FIFA World Cup to be jointly hosted by Azerbaijan and Uzbekistan in 2027. The winners of the tournament will also earn a place at the 2028 Olympic Games in Los Angeles, California. However, should the United States capture the title, the Olympic berth will instead be awarded to the tournament runner-up, as the USA have already sealed their spot to come to the Olympics Games as host. Now, chairman of Harbourview Football Club, Carvel Stewart, says the organization has already started putting things in place for a swift return to the Ray and Never Jamaica Premier League. Harbourview were relegated from the nation's top flight on the final day of relegation season action on Wednesday when they lost to champions Cavalier. The Stars of the East endured a dreadful season where they won only 9 of their 39 games and suffered 18 defeats. So how did a team that won the championship 4 years ago and 4th in the Caribbean Championships find itself in the nation's second tier?
Our major problem has been the absence of a midfield that plays the kind of passing game that we're traditionally known for. And because of that, we ended up too often with the defenders providing the final pass. So when that happens, you give over the ball to the opponents, and therefore we were punished for that. We also led, as we did today, in a number of games and gave up the lead because we were not maintaining possession of the ball, which we should have done.
Harbourview played 31 seasons in the Premier League, and Stewart says they are looking for a swift return.
We are going to organize the group of players that we do have here and the youngsters coming through to ensure that they will graduate into our senior system and assist us going forward and getting back to where we should be.
Meanwhile, the two-legged Reign Never Jamaica Premier League quarter-final ties begin on Sunday with Racing United playing against Portmore United in the St. Catherine Derby at 5 p.m. and Waterhouse against Champions Cavalier at 7:30 p.m., both games at National Stadium. The return legs will be played next Wednesday. The winners of Racing against Portmore will face Mount Pleasant Academy, while the Waterhouse versus Cavalier winners will face Mobay United in the other semi-finals. Now, Jamaican international Khadija Shaw is set to leave Manchester City this summer, bringing an end to a hugely successful spell with the Women's Super League Championship. Shaw has decided to pursue a new challenge after extensive contract talks with City failed to produce an agreement. While both sides were reportedly keen to continue the partnership, negotiations stalled over key details, including the length of a proposed extension. The 29-year-old striker has been one of the standout players in the English football, scoring 19 goals in 21 league matches this season and putting herself on course to win a third straight SSL Golden Boot. Her goals helped Manchester City secure their first league title in a decade. Chelsea FC women are believed to be leading the race for her signature, with reports suggesting a deal worth around £1 million per year. Interest has also come from FC Barcelona, several National Women's Soccer League sides in the United States, and the ambitious London City Lionesses. Shaw could face Chelsea in Sunday's Women's FA Cup semi-final before closing out her Manchester City career next weekend against West Ham United women. Now, Colombian pop star Shakira has unveiled her official song for the 2026 World Cup. The 49-year-old, behind hits such as Whenever, Whenever and Hips Don't Lie, teased Die Die on Thursday as the anthem for the summer's tournament in the USA, Mexico and Canada. Shakira posted a 1-minute video on Instagram from Brazil's Maracana Stadium to tease the track that is out on May 14 and also features Nigerian singer Burna Boy. Now it marks Shakira's second official World Cup anthem after Waka Waka, this time for Africa, for the 2010 tournament in South Africa. She also had the second theme song for the 2014 tournament with La La La, Brazil 2014, which she performed at the closing ceremony in Rio de Janeiro. And now to some netballers. 2 Jamaicans have been selected to officiate in the netball competition at the 2026 Commonwealth Games in Glasgow, Scotland this summer. Chris Campbell was selected under the umpire appointments panel, while Tracy Ann Griffiths will do match official duties at the July 23 to August 2 event. The pair headline a contingent of 20 international technical officials and 22 national technical officials selected to serve during the Games, reinforcing Jamaica's growing reputation and influence in global netball officiating. Campbell says the appointment reflects years of dedication and hard work within the sport.
I'll be a part of the UAP's umpires assessment panel. We're doing the assessment and we're doing the allocation and the coaching of the umpire, while Tracy will be blowing the whistle. She'll be running. It's a moment for us. It's a good achievement. We're the only two from the Caribbean in netball that is going to be on this as part of this contingent going to Scotland in July. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it's a big thing. It's an achievement. It's my third Commonwealth. I went there twice before as an umpire, and in this case, I'm going back as the assessor.
Chris Campbell. Now to some cricket, as newly minted Jamaica Kingsman captain Ravman Powell says he's happy to again be sharing dressing room with former West Indies star Andre Russell. The two have been selected to play for the newest franchise in the Caribbean Premier League CPL. Powell calls Russell his biggest inspiration and says, growing up, he wanted to emulate everything Russell did on the cricket field.
I've said it countless times. It wasn't hard for me. It was easy because, one of the biggest inspiration, biggest motivation was seeing J. Russ. We came from similar backgrounds, similar communities. From my standpoint, I didn't have to look outside. It was always there. He started with his work ethic. That is something that I try to emulate. And also, I try also from the appearance thing. From I was young, they said that I am a little bit, we look alike.
Now, Powell revealed that during his time at Old Harbour High, he was a standout track and field athlete, but cricket was always closest to his heart.
For me, it was mainly track and field, and I've done well at it, but I realized that there comes a time when you have to make a decision. The decision was between track and field and cricket, and thank God I chose cricket.
Ravman Powell. Now the CPL is set for August 7 to September 20, 2026. I'm Alex Raby, and that's your sports.
Multi-link, access every time, everywhere I go. Multi-link, 24/7 access for me. It's just a win-win when we use multi-link. This card is Jamaican built, yeah. Fast and secure, you can use anywhere. Spend while supporting the economy.
Look for the Multilink logo on your card and benefit from Jamaica's largest debit payment network.
Multi-link, 24/7 access for me.
What would I do without my Multilink?
Digicel makes it easy. Surprise mom with a new Samsung device starting as low as $12,000 plus tax. Visit your nearest Digicel store today. Digicel, powered by you, connected by us.
The Philharmonic Orchestra of Jamaica presents Encore, a harmonic reawakening, captivating music from the classical masters, movies, and our homeland. Saturday, May 16 and Sunday, May 17 at the Little Theatre. Conductor Franklin E. Halliburton, guest soloist Sashika Brown. Tickets $5,000 pre-sold, $6,000 at the gate. Reserved box seats $7,500. Tickets at Fontana Pharmacy, Waterloo, and Sovereign, and the Music Mart. The Philharmonic Orchestra of Jamaica in concert, May 16 and 17 at the Little Theatre.
We can light up your world with the rays of the sun, putting pure energy in the palm of your hand.
For over 20 years, Fosrich has been putting a world of energy in your hands. Now we bring you big savings with our line of solar energy products and LED lighting. Financing now available for all your home and commercial retrofit projects. Consult with our in-house staff or certified professional engineers for all your electrical needs. Fosrich lifestyle. It's electric. Fosrich, your energy world.
Morning after morning, you've made Nationwide 90 FM part of your routine. So let's take this connection one step closer. Join the Nationwide 90 FM Family Club and be part of it officially on Patreon.
Family, amazing family.
Hi there. Here's some good news for these trying times. Quote, by God's word, I can see where I'm going. They throw a beam of light on my dark path. Unquote. Psalm 119, verse 105. Listen for God's word weekdays at 5:45 a.m. and 12:55 p.m. through
Oasis. Stop by for a refreshing drink and share a God perspective for the day.
Oasis, weekdays 5:45 a.m. and 12:55 p.m. right here on Nationwide, a revolution in media.